Okay, welcome everyone to SHS Intermediate Advanced Training. If you are a beginner, you might want to come to our training that we'll have on November 11th. There's also a video up on YouTube that was the last beginner training, and so you can always go there and watch that. Or you can contact me. I do the one-on-one trainings. Um, any which way, we want you to be comfortable with SHS. And today we're going to cover a case um, and try to step things up just a little bit, make it a little, more advanced, not cover basics so quite so much. And if you have any questions, Maggie Ryan is here to answer, to monitor the chat window and the Q&A box. Please put your questions in there and she will, let me know when some questions arise so that I can stop and answer them. Are there any questions to begin with? If not, I am going to start sharing my screen. All right. Hopefully everybody can see my screen. I'm going to just close off the window there that shows my face. I don't need to look at that. All right. As I mentioned, we are going to cover a case. This was a case that I took back in 2018, and it was a relatively simple case, but I think it will showcase how you go about finding rubrics, whether it be repertory module or global search, and how you can get those into the clipboard and analyze from there. So this was a case of a woman who she came in with a main complaint of depression. It had started during a pregnancy and it continued on even after the baby was born. The pregnancy also, while she was pregnant, she had vertigo very badly. And when she got upset now in the present, she also would experience dizziness. With her menses also, she had problems. She had migraines during menses. She had kind of an envious quality to her relationship with her husband. They ran a business together and he was much more outgoing and friendly with the customers. Like he was the outgoing one, the one that all the customers liked. She also really liked running and he had decided to run with her during one marathon and he won. And there was some envy there that he hadn't warmed, he hadn't, what's the word, trained for very long for the thing and he beat her. So some envious feelings towards her husband. And, other little things, some modalities which will cover. Heat, she said, shuts her down. Doesn't like the sun, it causes some skin discoloration. And things like that. So let's jump in, let's get started. I will first look for a depression connected to pregnancy. And I'm going to do that by going into global search and simply typing the words depression and pregnancy. All right. And activate that search by hitting the return key on my computer. Enter if you're on a Windows computer. And so the global search comes up. You can see over here, we're in search module. And the reliable, okay, so we've got this one rubric here, and I'm going to take that to a clipboard by simply making sure it's highlighted, which it is now, and hitting return. And I'm just going to explore some of the other repertories, like I'll go down to Murphy's and see. And that one also has, now these are somewhat small rubrics. I'll go ahead and take them both because I don't know for sure if this 12 remedies is the same as the 12 remedies that were in the reliable rubric. So I'm going to go ahead and take this as well, and I can combine them in the clipboard. I'll look at the Suggesta. We can go ahead and take that as well. You can mix and match repertories that are going on your clipboard. Makes no difference. So we've got 3 rubrics related to that. Now I'm going to move on to the next symptom. I'll go ahead and look for mind envy. I'm going to do that in repertory module. I could have done it in global search, but I'm going to kind of bounce back and forth so that you guys can see that either way, you can pretty easily find rubrics. I love the global search thing though. That to me is easier than looking in the repertory module, but I do want to do both just so you can see it both ways. So I'm going to, on my keyboard, type ENV. Let's see. Whoops, I didn't type the E fast enough. All right, didn't go to V, ENV. All right, here we go. There it is. I'm just going to take that rubric. It's a pretty decent size, 54 remedies, to my clipboard.
And Lucy, sorry to interrupt you there, but
Absolutely.
with envy there, if you wanted to drill down into the sub-rubric, can you just
yeah, I could absolutely do that. If you depending on whether you like to use your mouse or the keyboard shortcuts, I can double click envy. And then you see it comes up here, and now I'm looking at the sub-rubrics of envy. And I'm taking a brief look at these, and none of these really, they're small rubrics and none of them really apply to my case. So in that case, you just go backward 1 step, hitting the left directional arrow, and you get back to that main rubric, which you can then take to your clipboard. I also want to try to find the vertigo during her pregnancy, because that's pretty interesting that it was severe. She had to get her husband to help her walk around the house. And so let's see, I'm just looking at my notes here. I'm going to go ahead and type up here in the global search window, pregnancy, vertigo, and see what we come up with that. Okay. I'll go ahead and take that because that's exactly what I want. Vertigo during pregnancy. Let me go see if I can get a slightly bigger rubric. I'll go down to the complete 21 and see what the result is there, just by clicking on it there on the left pane. And a slightly bigger rubric, I'm going to take that to my clipboard as well. I can combine them together in the clipboard once I get to the clipboard. And so now I'm going to go and I'm going to look for the headache, the migraine during menses. I'm going to X out of the global search window, and I'm going to put in migraine next to menses. And I'm going to activate this. Okay, not a big result at all. Go down to Murphy's. Let's see what that is, another small rubric. So then, now see, I've worked through this case, and so I've already worked through the thought process before our training here. And so I thought to myself, well, okay, migraine is like a diagnostic man-made term. Let's go into head pain during menses and try to find a better rubric that way. So I'm going to I'll go again, jump to the repertory, because I want you to see how easily it is to go back and forth. And I'm going to go into head, type PAI on my keyboard. That takes me down to pain, headache in general. I do want sub-rubrics. That's a rather large rubric with 434 remedies. So I'm going to hit the right directional arrow. That time I hit the right directional arrow to go into sub-rubrics. I could have double-clicked as I did on envy, but either way, whichever way is more comfortable to you. And now I'm going to, on my keyboard, type MEN for Menzies. There it is. Now you can see that it's a main rubric with 0 remedies in it. So I couldn't take that to the clipboard, but it has sub rubrics, which I'll go into now. I'm going to hit the right directional arrow, and I want to take the during, because it's during the Menzies that she gets the migraines. So I'll hit return and get that on my clipboard. Now she did give some qualifications to the migraines. She said that her scalp feels numb. Sorry, her arm feels numb during the migraines, and her scalp feels tight. So I'm gonna try looking for numb. How did I do that last night? Because I kind of want to show you how I had to rethink things, and so I want to go kind of down the same path I did. Actually, let's go look to the drawing and the tightening. I'm going to go back one, and we're going to go back to head pain in general, where I'm going to say DRA. Whoops, DRA. You have to type it pretty smoothly. Drawing. So there's that. I'm going to go into drawing. And we'll type TIG. Okay. I'm actually going to go back into Menzies. Okay, and yeah, it's fun to do this. You just have to kind of think of the best way to approach things. So I'll go back to pain and the headache. I don't want the Menzies again. And we'll take that drawing. I know I found drawing and tightening. I'm going to come up here and do drawing, tightening. And I'm going to filter it for the head, because I want to find all those rubrics that are related to pain, in the head, that is related to yeah. Okay, so this is the rubric that I want. It's a tightening feeling that she has in her scalp with the migraines. So this is the one I was looking for. Again, you saw how very easily I found it up here. I could have found it just by putting the word drawing, or I could have found it just by using the word tightening. I didn't have to put those two words together. But I'll take this to the clipboard now. I'm going to hit return. And then there's the numbness. So I'm going to put numb. And I want this to be in relation to the arm. So I'm just going to do that. And we'll go down to the head. Every time you trigger a search in global search, your result comes in chapter by chapter in the order of the chapters. So of course you then have to look on the left side, go down to the chapter that you're looking for. Okay, this isn't going to do it. Don't want those tiny little rubrics. I'll go into here, and I'm going to go back to the head pain, headache, and we're going to look for numb here. Okay, head pain as if numb. That's a small one. And let me actually, we want it to be the arms. So actually, yeah, it's not the head that's numb. So we need to actually open this up and go down to extremities. Let's look here. I'm going to type NUMB for numb. Okay, numbness. arm. Okay. And there was something I found last night, and I was hoping to find it again now, but I'm not. It was numb that didn't have any um, it didn't have any it didn't have any remedies in it. And I was going to turn on cross references and show you. I'm not getting to it again. But what I eventually did come to when I was kind of working this case last night was I decided to put put language in the global search window that would have a lot of proximity language and would kind of help me to hone in on this symptom that I'm having a hard time finding. When you're using the proximity language, you're actually asking the program more to look for through your reference materials. There's not going to be one rubric that contains all the language of your search that has a lot of proximity language in it. I'll show you what I mean. So here's what I put in global search. It's more refined. I put head within 3 words of pain in the same paragraph as numbness within 3 words of arm. So I want the program to find me all the remedies that have those 2 symptoms in the same paragraph. So I'm going to activate this search, and I can use the plus sign to keep the previous search, and then this one will be in a second tab. And so this helps you kind of hone in, refine exactly what you're looking for your case. Because I didn't want numbness where it was just the head and the arm wasn't mentioned. And as you saw, I kind of ran into dead end in the extremities chapter, so this is my way to connect the 2 of them. And you can see that it jumped immediately to the reference library tab. Because again, when you have a lot of proximity language in global search, you don't get rubrics. So I like this. I like this refined query that I put in global search. I feel like it's connected to the case well. And 29 remedies, that's a decent result. So I'm going to actually take that to the clipboard by clicking over here on the plus sign on the right side. And you can see that rubric also went on the clipboard. And so let's see. Now we're going to also find the kind of interesting symptom of she gets vertigo whenever she's upset now in the present. So I'm going to put in global search, vertigo within 3 words of anger, and just see what happens, see what comes up. And here I get that vertigo causes anger. That's not really, it kind of goes the other way, that she's angry and then the anger, the vertigo is caused by the anger. Let me go look in the vertigo chapter. Vertigo after anger. That actually might be something I would want to take. So I'm going to go ahead and take that one. And I'm going to look in the complete 21 as well. I'm going to take that. But those are very small rubrics. So I want to go into the vertigo chapter and maybe take that other one that is that ailments are caused by. Okay, let me find it this way. When you're not having trouble, when you're not having success in the repertory, people who know their repertories can just fly through them. But I've gotten used to using global search. So I'm going to do ailment, vertigo up here. That's the one I want. Okay, how did I find that before? I can find it again. We will do it. Mind. So it's mind, anger, ailments. Ah, yes, that was it. Okay, so we're going to go. So that the mind needs to be there. That element needs to be there because of the anger. And we're going to activate this search. And so here we have, we don't want the admonition. We don't want that. This one is, that's not what I want. Sorry, what did I find before? That isn't quite what I want. We're going to go into mind. We're going to go to anger. And I'm going to go into those subrubrics of anger, hitting the right directional arrow. And we're going to go to ailments from. This is the one I want. This is the one that covers the case. The other one was not covering the case. This is it. So ailments from anger, because it's the vertigo is an ailment and the anger is causing it. And so this is the rubric that I want. All right, so I'm going to take that to the clipboard. And I also want to cover the modalities. She said that heat shuts her down. So I'm going to go and find heat aggravates. I'll just come up here to global search. Heat aggravates. And that's a general thing. It's not that it causes headaches. It's not that it causes the vertigo. She said, when I feel hot, I shut down. So it's a general symptom. I'm going to come down to generalities. Heated becoming aggravates. We're going to take that to the clipboard. She also mentioned that she gets skin discoloration in the sun. So I'm going to, in global search, discoloration. And she actually said it was like spots. I'm going to do that. And they were on her face, where her, on her upper lip. We're going to put face here. We're going to filter for the face chapter, face section like that. You wait for that drop down, you look for the brackets that say face section, you click it and it turns that word blue. That's
Lucy, can you just explain that a little more? I think if you type face too quickly, it won't actually recognize it as a chapter name, is that right? And it won't turn blue?
I think you can type face quickly, but you just can't put a space. You have to let your cursor stop right there at the end of 3 and wait for the drop down. Let me do it again. I'm going to X out. Now I stopped typing. I typed face rather quickly and stopped typing, and it took a minute for it to come up, but it comes up. The important thing to remember is that you have to leave the cursor blinking on the last, right after the last letter, and you can't put a space. Hope that explains it.
Yeah, thanks, Susie.
Okay. All right, and so here we go. And she did mention that they were brown spots. Here we have even on the upper lip. Do we have anything caused by heat? Brown spots. It was caused by the sun. I'm definitely going to take the brown spots. I don't know if they're liver spots, if they're caused by the sun. Maggie, what would you think about that?
Say that again, Lucy, sorry?
Oh, sorry. Just, up here it talks about on the upper lip is certainly the location she talked about. She gets that discoloration. But she said it was due to the heat, the heat of the sun. So this liver spots thing, not going to take that, but I could
I would
possibly.
think so, yeah.
I could, if the location is correct. And then the other thing, okay, so we've got some things that make her worse. I think wind was another one. So we could find wind. She doesn't like to be in the direct wind. Whenever you search for one word that, comes in a lot of chapters, a lot of rubrics, the searches are a little bit longer. So I'll come down to generalities for the wind. She didn't mention cold, so I'll just say windy aggravates. Walking in the wind aggravates. She did mention outdoors. Like she wouldn't want to live in the mountains. She felt like they were too windy. She didn't mention stormy. Here we go. Wind aggravates. And then one of the things that helps her alleviate the depression is she has two small children, a busy business with her husband. She says alone time is something that she really relishes. So I'll go ahead and take that rubric that being alone helps her. Ameliorated when alone. So I'm going to go ahead and take that. And I think that pretty much covers, let me make sure, pretty much covers, I'd say, the main symptoms, the symptoms anyway that I took as the most important ones to bring to a clipboard. Before I get to the clipboard, any questions on how I found rubrics?
No, not at the moment, Lucy.
Okay. So now we'll go to the clipboard. I'm going to open up the clipboard and I'll show you how I would combine the rubrics that I took that, came from various repertories, because I want the weight of each symptom to equalize. So for instance, here we have sadness, and sadness during the pregnancy. I'm going to go ahead and select all of those rubrics. I hold the command key down, or if you're on a Windows computer, control key. I'm going to select those. To combine those, I will come up here to this folder, make group. You name the combined rubric. Okay, and the vertigo, I'm going to go ahead and combine those. And you can see what happens when you combine. You get all the details on the clipboard side, on the left side here. But on the graph side, it just shows the combined rubric name. I'm going to combine some of these symptoms during her pain, the menses. Actually, this is drawing and tightening. This is numbness. I'm not going to combine those. This talks about the head pain. I will combine the ones we found about the vertigo. All right, and she gets heated. I will go ahead and combine the skin discoloration. We also could have looked in the skin chapter. Let's go ahead and take these though, and we're going to combine.
So Lucy, in terms of combining and making the group, you're using that icon there, which is the second icon beside the word grade. And you could also use the keyboard shortcut by pressing equals on your keyboard.
What do you press on the keyboard?
Equals.
Oh, let's try that.
Equal sign.
I don't have anything else to combine, but
You can
let's
uncombine that
ungroup.
one.
But I'm going to ungroup one, and I'll show you that. To ungroup, you right click, you hover your mouse on the combined rubric name. You not down here so much, but just try to aim for the name of the combined rubric, and you right click on the Mac, that's control click, and you just hit ungroup. Okay, and so if we wanted to use the shortcut on these, I'm going to go ahead and select it again, and I'm going to hit equals on my keyboard. There you go, the group thing name comes up. Maggie, I haven't been using that. Thank you for pointing it out.
You're welcome.
It's very nice to have that. I love keyboard shortcuts. And they keep adding them with each update of SHS. Perfect. Are there any other keyboard shortcuts we could maybe play around with here that you can think of?
Not in terms of what you're doing right now.
Okay.
But if I see some as you're working, I'll interject.
Okay. I actually ran across, not to stray from the topic too much, but I did run across a really nice one that I while I'm thinking about it, I want to show you. If you are in a chapter and you want to turn on cross references, you know, this icon does it, but also Command U turns on all the cross references. So I love that. That was one I have been playing around with a lot lately. And
that
because
is a nice one, because I would turn on and off cross references quite a lot.
Yes, exactly. And it's just nice to be able to just do it with a Command U. So that I just wanted to show you that. Okay, so let's go back to our clipboard, and you can see that sepia comes up first. And sure enough, that was the remedy I gave, and it helped her a lot. 4 months later, we upped the potency a little bit, but she was very helped by this remedy. And so that was the case. Now, if you are interested in kingdom prescribing, and you're interested, for instance, you say, oh, sepia, I kind of want to see maybe if there's some other mollusks, maybe there's a related remedy also in this graph. Let me see what they are. Let me see what the related remedies to sepia would be. You can hover your mouse on sepia. You can right click to get that menu, which is the control click. View remedies family. The window that you get here is a listing of all the areas where there's some relationships. And so I wanted to go look at the mollusks, other mollusks that might be in this graph. And sure enough, there are. They don't cover the case as well, but it's interesting to come at it that way. Another way you could filter, let's turn this off by clicking on the purple circle. Another way you could filter would be, you can see here that I've got a miasm line below the kingdom line. That can be turned off. I happen to have it turned on to the traditional miasms, which the red, if you look down on your status bar, can everybody see? I've got the zoom bar in my way, but Maggie, can you see that when I hover on that square, it's showing at the bottom that the red?
Syphilitic, yeah.
Okay, syphilitic. Maybe you want to explore miasms more thoroughly in this graph. You can certainly do that. Right now, I'm looking at the traditional miasms, syphilitic. Maybe I want to see how Rajan might look at this case with the syphilitic miasm. How does he look at that? So in our filter, which is right here, this icon right here, which is on the graph, is the filter icon, which you'll find throughout the program. It's up here in global search, it's in repertory module, it's in reference library. Just always understand that this icon here means that it's a filter option. And you've got kingdoms, remedies, miasms. Let's go down to miasms. And first I'm in traditional, which is the T. Let's go look at all the syphilitic, put them all together. We can apply that. Now you're only looking at the remedies that are syphilitic from the traditional standpoint. Let's say you wanted to come in here, turn that filter off by clicking the purple circle, and you want to come in and you want to look at the miasms from Rajan's point of view. Click R, and I'm going to select them all, and I'm going to hit apply. Now you can see from Rajan's viewpoint, you can see how traditional changed to Rajan when I set the filter. Sepia is a different type of miasm. And so again, you just hover your mouse on the colored square, and you can see at the bottom on the status bar how those are categorized according to Rajan. So questions?
A question in relation to Zoom, Lucy. Eileen wants to know, how can we save the chat? I don't know if you know.
I mean, I guess you can screenshot anything you want to save there on your own computer.
If anybody knows, if anybody is here and they know the command to do so, please share it.
Oh, in order to do a screenshot? Yes, on a Mac computer, it's Command Control 4. Or is it? Gosh, you know, I do it so mindlessly. Let me just see. Yeah. Command Shift 4. Command Shift 4 on a Mac computer will allow you to save the chat. Command Shift 4. On Windows, I know Windows is different. They've got the snip tool.
The snip tool, yeah.
Yeah.
Eileen is saying there's usually 3 dots on the bottom right to save the chat, but I'm certainly not seeing that.
I see 3 dots where it says more. I mean, that might be something that once the webinar is concluded, when I go up and get recordings, I might actually get a file for the chat. I do believe I do have a file. Once all is said and done, I can go into Zoom and go view the chat, I think, if we have it set up that way. Is there something in the chat you particularly want? Perhaps we could email it to you, or.
Yeah, Eileen, let me know if there's anything specific that you want in terms of the chat. In relation to your graph now, Lucy, Kim is asking, how do you get the miasms to show on the repertory graph? So could you just show again how you get the miasms to show there? Oh,
sure. You come up to User Preferences, go to Clipboard Settings. It's actually a graph setting, but it would be found under Clipboard Settings, and it's right here. You would click this to slide it on to show, and you can see that I have traditional miasms chosen. I could also choose to always see Rajan's instead, or Bentley's or Bjorndal's, depending on which kind of miasm method you follow. And once you've chosen it, you just hit save, and it reloads, and then you can see the line. Just trying to think. I'll show you. Does anyone want me to show them how to save this? Or is everybody clear on saving a clipboard to patient management?
Lucy, before you finish up this case, one thing you might show, I'm not sure if you're planning or not, but Lisa is asking about the elimination icons.
Okay.
And so how to use elimination to change the view of your graph.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. So once you have a
and we will also show saving as you were about to do after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So with elimination, the whole point of it is if maybe you have a couple of rubrics that are particularly characteristic, and you know that the remedy you want to get, the remedy that you're hoping to give, that you're wanting to give, must be found in those rubrics because they are the most characteristic. So you want to hone in on those rubrics. Now, somehow I must have hit a number. I somehow I graded mind envy. Didn't mean to. So what I'll do here is go ahead and highlight it and hit the 0 on my keyboard. You can grade rubrics by highlighting and hitting 2, 3, or 4 on your keyboard, and it grades them. There, I've hit a 2. Now I'm hitting a 0 to remove that. Another way is, that's the keyboard shortcut way, is the right click. Again, I'm just showing this since I graded it. I don't know when I did. You can also take something down to a -1 to take it off the, to take that weight away. All right, so elimination. I'm going to highlight all the rubrics by hitting Command A. Whoops, you have to make sure your mouse is clicked into the clipboard. Command A. So if you accidentally select everything somewhere else, you have to make sure that comes off. And then my mouse in the clipboard made sure it was only looking at the clipboard. Then I hit Command A. Now I'm going to hit, I'm going to actually drag this up. You can also, I'm going to hit Command C and open this up. Click in here and hit Command V. Okay, that actually, I was just trying something there. What I'm going to do is click, hold, and drag this entire block up into the plus sign, and there they are. These are all my rubrics. And let's say that I thought the envy and the vertigo when she's angry were the most, again, it's your case. You have to determine which rubrics are those critical ones. And so let's say that I've chosen these to be the critical ones. And you can see what happens in a pool of 230 remedies. I got down to 25 when I crossed those 2 rubrics. That means that 25 remedies are similar to both those rubrics. Now I want to see what those 25 remedies are. So I can hit Show Graph. And again, we chose the envy and we chose the anger with vertigo. And you can see that there are no blank squares next to those rubrics, because what elimination does is it brings all those similar, those same, overlapping crossed rubrics. It brings them to the forefront. Those 25 had been brought to the forefront here. You can see 25, 25. And then all the other rubrics that are in your clipboard, play out as well. You can see how they all play out. And so that's how you do elimination. And again, sepia came up high, but any one of these 25, and it's going to stretch out beyond here, and you can either stretch out your graph a little bit more like this, or you can use the glider at the bottom to go all the way to the 25, the end of the 25. Let me get the zoom bars in the way. Let me move that real fast up here so I can get onto the graph here. So I'm just going to scoot this up. And so you can use this slider bar to go to the very end to see the last of the 25. But that's what this graph is now showing you, those 25 overlapping remedies in those two chosen rubrics.
And Lucy, Brigitte is asking, what does the negative sign beside the plus do, or when would you use that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, what you mean, what this is for?
Mm-hmm.
It's, you know, it kind of acts the same way. As you can see, the same thing is here. Maggie, do you have anything else to add to that?
No, it's
I
actually
always use the plus sign.
duplication in a sense. Yeah, the plus will cover
The
everything.
plus covers everything.
Instead of turning those last two rubrics to minus within that window, you could drag them into the minus icon. But to me, that's just more work.
Yeah. Yeah, you could do that. If you just wanted to look at only those two, you know, take them up to the minus sign and just look at those two rubrics where all the others are not on the graph. But I like to see how all the other rubrics interact with the two that I've chosen, or two or three. You could choose more than, you can turn more than just two rubrics to the minus. I could have chosen one or two more, you know. In fact, let's do that. The more you choose, that the lower the number is going to be. Right now I've got 25. I'm going to X out of this, go back in here, and you'll see that if I also wanted to include face discoloration, I turned that also to a minus sign. Now I've got 3 rubrics that have the minus sign next to them, and you can see it's gone down to 7, because the more you choose, you know, the smaller the overlap's going to be. And we'll look at that graph now. And so now you're just looking at those 7 remedies that overlapped the 3 rubrics that I chose. Envy, the vertigo with the anger, and where is it?
When you have a lot of remedies in your graph and a lot of rubrics in your graph, elimination is a great way to take different views of the graph.
It is. And so let's, we've got 10 minutes. Let's save this. Sorry, I'm just looking here.
Kim is saying that there's difficulty in getting all of the rubrics into the elimination graph. Can you show again how to get them in there?
Sure. You click into the clipboard, make sure your mouse has clicked into it, so that then the Command A or Control A, if you're on a Windows computer, works. And then you just click, hold, and drag up to the plus sign to get them in. That's the efficient way to do it. You can select individual ones, as I mentioned, and just take a few up there. But if you want to look at all your rubrics together, how they're interacting together, then you that's the best way to take them up.
Okay. Peggy is asking if you could explore kingdoms. I suspect that's a whole topic in its own right, maybe for another day, but if you want to just quickly take us in there, and then if we can save.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. So let's say you wanted to explore more of the, you know, the kingdoms. You can come at kingdoms one of 2 ways. Again, that right click, where I hover on the remedy that I want to explore that kingdom further. You hover your mouse on that, right click, and go view the remedies family from that window. This is certainly one way to explore relationships for that particular remedy. But let's say we want a more general, a broader, you know, look at kingdoms. We can come over to Kingdom Graph area, or we can filter. So we can filter for a certain kingdom. You know, if we come in, it comes in on the kingdom, A to Z is the default. We can just start typing to look for a kingdom. Let's say we want to see mollusks, but maybe we also want to see, you know, Just trying to think here. We want to see if there are any other types of ocean creatures. We just can look at all the ocean creatures together. Whoops, that's not one. Maggie, can you think of one?
Ocean creatures. Gloria's just asking about snakes, reptiles.
Oh, sure. I mean, we could, yeah, we could look at, we could also filter for snakes. And in fact, if you'd rather do that, we just look for serpents, snakes right here. Snake lizards. You could include that if you wanted to. But anyway, once you have selected everything that you are wanting to filter for, you can make sure you have everything. So that's not that those don't go exactly go together. I was trying to find ocean things, but I just showed you how you can find the snakes. So I'm going to take that off. We can do that separately if you want. Hit apply. Okay, it's the same ones as before. Now let's take that off and let's go see if let's go see snakes. We'll go find that again. We'll apply that. Okay, and so these would be the snake remedies that are in this particular graph that come up together to the front. Lachesis somewhat covers the case. Take that off. And so again, you can filter by kingdom here. You can also explore kingdoms even more when you come over to kingdom graph area. Let me X out of here and go over here. And over here, select graph types. This is where you would dive into other families. Let's say you wanted to, you did think she needed an animal remedy. So you could come in, kind of explore all the animal remedies here. You've got your sponges. That was another one I could have looked at over there on the filters. I wasn't remembering sponges. And so, you would just drill down, you choose your kingdom. Let's go look at the sponges. You choose your kingdom. Sure enough, sponge is actually was on the graph. And so, did I answer that question? I hope I did, Peggy.
Not completely, Peggy says.
Okay. Well, we have 5 minutes. Let me show you how I would save this clipboard. I would come to patient management, create a new patient. You have to type the first name. I'll just use this name. I'm blanking. I'm just going to do test case. Okay. You can see that name populated here. And you can fill in anything else you need to fill in, whether it be contact information, case information, remedy information. For instance, we could come down here and we could say that we gave sepia 200. All right, and now we're going to hit save. It's the very same save as this one, either one, save. This window always comes up because sometimes people have other clipboards that they have open, and you want to make sure you get the correct clipboard into the correct chart. So that's the only clipboard that's possible. I'm going to hit save. And now you can see this, this session line opened up here with today's date. The remedy is showing. That's where this clipboard is now residing. Once you see that line appear with the consultation date and time, you know that the clipboard has been saved here. Close out of patient management, the clipboard disappears because it's been saved into that chart. We'll go find that again. View patients, test case, open. Now, right now you don't see that little session line over here because you have to open it. You click on the line on the right side to open it. Now it's open. Now your clipboard is back on the icons palette.
Lucy, if you had a second clipboard opened there, you know, that you were just working with, but then you wanted to delete that clipboard, can you show how to delete a clipboard?
Yeah, sure. You wanted the clipboard to be put into this chart in a second line or the same line?
Either.
Okay, okay. So yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll just grab a clipboard, you know, throw some remedies on something here.
You're putting it on the same clipboard. Can you open up another clipboard?
Oh, of course, yeah. And that happens. Let me show you how to fix that. You open up your clipboard, you simply highlight the ones that you want to go on there. I'm hitting Command C, excuse me. Now I'm going to open a new clipboard by clicking on that clipboard manager. I'm going to open this clipboard. I'm going to do Command V. Okay, there's that. Now I can remove them from this clipboard by simply deleting.
And Lucy, can you also rename those clipboards?
You can, absolutely. So I'm going to right click. I'm going to hover my mouse on this clipboard number 1 and hit Control click to get that menu option. Always the right click is the menu options in SHS. I'm going to hit rename, test case 1. Okay. And now I'm going to right click. I'm going to go ahead and click on clipboard number 2, rename it test case 2. Now, you see that at the top of your clipboard here. You can also see it when you hover your mouse. You can see that that name appears. So it's on the clipboard itself on the upper left. And when you hover your mouse on the clipboard, it's there. All right, so let's say I now want to put clipboard number 2 in the same session line. So I'm going to come to patient management. The chart is already open. I'm just going to click on this icon here just to jump straight to patient management and my chart. Here it is. Okay, so I have this clipboard. If I wanted to have it appear in a second session line, then I would save it as new. It would then create a new session line above the one that we already have there. But let's say I want to update the session line I have so that I only have the one session line. Now I'm going to hit update because I want to update this one. And it's already got clipboard number 1. That's why clipboard number 1 is already ticked. That one's already there. I'm going to add clipboard number 2 to the session line. Going to hit save. All right. And so those are now both in that one session line, which I will show you. I'll close out of here. They went away from the left side because we had closed out of patient management. Now I'm going to come to patient management, reopen that case. Here we go. Choose the session line. You know, some charts have multiple session lines. That's why you have to click on the session line to open it, get to the clipboard. So we'll click on the one session line that we have, and both the clipboards reappeared.
And Lucy, that's great. Can you show how to compare those clipboards? Well, first of all, can you show how to look at them side by side?
Yeah, sure. Okay. So you just, you open them, and let's say you just wanted to look at the graph. You can also toggle to get more, more room looking at your graph. You resize windows here. And so let's say you're wanting to look at that one, and you're also wanting to look at this one. And it remembered that I had toggled away from the clipboard and that I had sized it a certain way. And so basically then I just put them side by side. And I can look at them like that. Anytime you resize a window, the program remembers. What was the other part of that, Maggie?
Just one final thing in terms of backing up your cases.
Okay. Okay.
How do you back them up?
Okay, so you go to User Preferences, Backup and Restore. and you hit back up. You can do this daily, you can do it monthly, whenever you feel, whenever you want to do it. You click on that backup. Now, it asks you, it wants you to tell it where to put your cases. And it's been a while since I backed up. I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder, which you see down here on the bottom left. I'm going to click new folder, and I'm going to title that, you could do it by date, however you want. I'm just going to say 28 October 2022 SHS, like that. Okay, you can name it whatever you want. I'm going to hit create, and I'm going to hit backup. Maggie, what did I do wrong?
Well, if you go into your folders and not there.
Where is my folder?
That's your folder. You're in the folder.
Yeah. You know what? I'm just wondering. Let me go look real fast. And did it go into? Oh, I had created a folder here as well. So let me figure out where I put where that one went. So my desktop. You have to kind of be aware of where you're putting things. Maybe I put it in downloads. There it is. It's in my downloads. So I probably want to put it with the other case, which was in documents. Let me just move it over there. Okay, so now see, I've got this that I backed up way back in earlier this month, and I have this one. So this one's empty now. I'm actually gonna hit backup now. I should be getting a message. Maggie, what am I doing? Do you know?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Let me just try it. Let me try a different folder. Let me try putting it in this folder. Maybe something's there. Total files. This is what you should see. For some reason, I'm not quite sure why, I'll be honest with you. For some reason, it didn't like that new folder I created.
Maybe it was the underscore.
But this one has one. SHS underscore case. So let's try that one more time. I'm just curious about that. It was in documents. Here's this now. This is what it looks like. This is what I just backed up. Okay, and so I'm going to do that one more time. I'm going to X out of here, come here, and I'm going to actually X out of here. Let's start over for a minute. Go to user preferences, backup and restore, back up, and I'm going to click on this folder, and I'm going to hit back up, and it did. You know what I think is you have to choose the folder. Once you create the folder, you have to choose it. It had been a while since I did that. So that's what you have to do. You create the folder, then you have to find it and choose it, highlight it, then hit back up. All right. Sorry for any confusion there.
So Heather is just asking, will it just back up your current case, or will it back up all your cases?
It backs up everything.
So if you show patient management,
yeah, let me show you again how that looks. So we're going to go into documents. That's where I chose to put that folder. And this is this is every single case that I have in patient management.
Perfect.
Right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anything else? Any other questions?
No, that's it.
Okay. Well, listen, guys, thank you for coming. Thank you for your patience. Normally, Rupali runs the intermediate advanced course. And I think you'll see her next month on the 18th. I will be back on November 11th. Thanks for coming. Appreciate your coming and being part of this. I'm going to stop sharing and write to me, Lucy at synergyhomeopathic.com, if you have any lingering questions. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.